There's a palpable difference between all three soundtracks of Made in Abyss. I'd say there's a bit of a unique identity between Season 1 and Dawn of the Deep Soul, but they're both these grand orchestral soundtracks at the end of the day. They boast this sense of adventure and wonder. Season 2, in contrast, weaves these traditional instruments with these more electronic, almost unnatural sounds. Season 2 has a bunch of beautiful tracks. Every soundtrack does. But specifically, I'm thinking of songs like The Golden City, Gravity, Old Stories, Tomorrowland. All of these are great emotional gut punches. I listen to them constantly. Though if I had to choose an absolute favorite, I would actually go with Eyes of Irumyuui. This song has a lot of discordant sounds with these synthetic noises. I can't quite describe what these electronic noises are, but they make me think of light traveling across beams. If you've ever seen the Animusic videos, like it's kind of like the last one. I don't know, I watched that as a kid and it stuck out to me. Then as the song progresses, a piano kicks in and overlaps this synthetic sound. And to me, it feels a bit like a conversation. These two sounds are talking over one another. Then the piano listens to the synthesizer for a brief bit. The piano then speaks up, speaking over the synthesizer. Then it gets a chance to speak on its own. And I believe that this is a conversation between Irumyuui and Vueko. The synthesizer is Irumyuui as Iruburu. She's this vast network connecting the souls of Ganja, convening in on Vueko and Dogupu. The piano is Vueko, reaching out to Irumyuui, calming her daughter and telling her that her mama is still here, don't worry. Irumyui's sounds are discordant and terrified. They overlap with Vueko, until Vueko speaks more and more. She's shushing her inconsolable daughter, calming her. There's even other noises in the song that remind me of voices crying out. I highly recommend listening to the song twice, 3 times, and just taking in these different sounds. It's so hard to put them into words. This same piano and synthesizer are heard during the track entitled Vueko, a song that, as you guessed, is played during Vueko's reveal in episode 5. Importantly, Vueko's self-titled track is almost entirely orchestral, and it focuses on piano and string, but the electronic beeping synthesizer thingy is entirely a background noise. Before talking with Riko, Vueko was talking with Irumyui's unborn children at first. It's a private conversation between them. The scene starts out with this electronic beeping, and once Vueko speaks to Riko, the piano kicks in. That is, it's her musical voice. Dogupu, Vueko's prison within Iruburu, is also called Within the Depths of the Eye by Mugi. Keep in mind the phrasing of the eye. The track Eyes of Irumyuui then plays in the 11th episode as Fapta is experiencing Irumyui's memories. One could say she's seeing through her mother's eyes. She's within the depths of a sort of eye, if not a literal one. This song contains both the synthesizer and piano, though when it's played in the episode, the opening synths have been skipped past. It starts out with the piano. That is, it's Vueko's calming voice, something that Fapta is entirely unfamiliar to. Fapta didn't get memories of Vueko from Irumyuui. Just as Vueko calmed and comforted Irumyuui, she's also symbolically comforting Fapta, as these memories are flooding Fapta and filling her in with the whole picture of Irumyuui and Vueko's story. The topic of souls has been quite contested as of late. Chapter 67 has given a bit of insight onto the topic. Srajo explains to Riko that, quote, "What you recognize as the soul does not exist outside of the abyss. The soul which occurs within the abyss are signals of unknown origin which do exist. The soul, through the invisible force field, permeates into any and all that the abyss touches. The soul overlaps with life and molds each individual's life insignia." Even in illustration, the soul is conceptualized as this constellation of relationships. Riko is connected to Nanachi, to Reg, Fapta, Liza, Prushka, her own unconscious thoughts. These connections branch out and link to one another. Reg to Fapta, Prushka to Bondrewd, and many more. Though this conversation focuses on the birthday-death disease, this linking network imagery is also on display in the Ganja flashback arc. It's just one panel and one scene in the anime, but as Vueko tells Riko she felt faint signals of the people of Iruburu, a similar sort of constellation is shown. In the anime, this electronic beeping accents this imagery. The soul holds a great expanse of information, from relationships to memories, and even the unconscious. Eyes of Irumyuui is my favorite song of the second season soundtrack because of this symbolism that I believe is intentional. In my last video regarding Irumyuui and Vueko, I talked about how Endless Embrace seems like a song being sung from Vueko to Irumyuui. In a similar vein, Eyes of Irumyuui is a full-blown conversation between them. However, it's a conversation that's just for the two of them to hear, not one for us to listen in on. When Fapta was born, Irumyuui gave her only certain memories, but she chose to keep the memories of Vueko to herself, until Belaf then passed them on to Fapta, and this is when Eyes of Irumyuui plays. Irumyuui and Vueko are talking to each other, and then Fapta is let in on the conversation, while we, the audience, are blocked out. I'm not a musically inclined person, so I may not be able to convey my thoughts properly, but I believe this correlation between sounds and characters was Penkin's intention. Even if it's not his intention that he's just like, oh, it sounds cool, my personal philosophy about art is that art is interpretable. Everyone's experiences in life will differ from one another, and our lives shape how we read the art that we love. This is simply what I pulled from these songs and how they're incorporated into the anime. This was a bit that was supposed to be in the bigger analysis video, but I forgot to put it in because I'm stupid. Yeah, I really like these songs and I wanted to talk about them, and I forgot to put them in the first video, and instead of, completely abandoning talking about them, here's my short little thoughts on it. Tell me what you think. Be on topic, be respectful in the comments and all that. I've been very busy with school and I am so tired. I'm trying to wait for one of my projects to open right now as I record this. Anyway, thank you for watching and I hope you have a nice day. Bye-bye.